Some man Patu, king of YouTube. Shout out to everybody on the planet Earth and in all of the dimensions where people are watching my videos. Hopefully, we can make something come together and something beautiful happen. So, I was just talking about in my last video, I was talking about a book called Secret Places of the Lion. Right? Oh man, it's on reverse. So I hope you can read backwards. Everything's backwards right now. That's all right though. But what's important about that book? There's a lot of things really. But they mentioned something. They had mentioned. I'm not going to scroll to the page right now. I would recommend you try to get the book if you can get the book. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be hard. It's out of print. But something I wanted to point out about this book, and you may have heard of this term before, especially when dealing with ancient societies. If you're into stuff like pre-Adamic human races, pre-flood civilizations and things like that, books like this will interest you. And you might have heard a term called the Great White Brotherhood. Now, of course, I'm racially sensitive. I've been here for 400 years, getting it with no Vaseline, and hopefully that'll be over next year. But I'm racially sensitive, so when I hear terms about like ancient greatness, and then you equate that with, let's say, a skin color or a bloodline, there's still people. It's 2018. There's still people out there that believe in the Aryan invasion myth. I was on a forum the other day, an Afrocentric forum, Nairaland, N-A-I-R-A land, Nairaland forum, and you'd be surprised how many black people out there pass themselves as scholars and so learned, and they know this and know that, and they still believe in the Aryan invasion theory. It's like I'm coming to you and telling you, yo man, I'm conscious, I got knowledge of self, but I'm a Christian. It doesn't work like that, bro. If you believe in the Aryan invasion theory, it means you don't study enough, because the man who invented the Aryan invasion theory debunked it himself and said it was fake. Just like ADD and ADHD, the people who invented that said it was fake. So how are people arguing over fake principles? There's no such thing as an Aryan invasion theory. There was no such thing as a supreme-minded European man who came and brought Vedic civilization into India. Sorry, it just didn't happen. And when the Indians fight tooth and nail for that, either they are leftist Marxists and they hate Hindus, or they are Indians who have been subjugated, colonized, enslaved mentally by the European, especially the British, who his claim to fame was to come to India to tell you, yes, I am the great Aryan. I am the one who established your civilization, so follow me again. And Indians fell for that hook, line, and sinker. But people are waking up real quick. There's no Aryan invasion theory. So back to the racial sensitivity. Yeah, the Great White Brotherhood is mentioned in this book. But because Krishna is my guide, Paramatma guides me from within, of course, I've been watching YouTube videos lately about, guess what? Ormus, monoatomic elements, monoatomic gold, rhodium, platinum, silver, monoatomic elements or metals on the nanoscale. They're not even metallic. The contacts between them are metallic, but the substance itself is no longer metal, nor does it display the properties of metal. So what I'm going to do is study Ormus. The Egyptians call it Mufkut. Mufkut means, hey, what is this stuff? So I'm going to study it, and hopefully I'll be able to express it properly and make a good video for you guys about that. But in this book, they mention the Great White Brotherhood, and I'm watching my videos about Ormus and monoatomic gold, and guess who the Great White Brotherhood is? The Great White Brotherhood was the ancient societies that knew how to produce Ormus, because it's a white powder. They knew how to produce Ormus, and they knew how to utilize it. What's funny is that Ormus works. It does a lot of things like teleportation, interdimensional communication. You can communicate with your dead forefathers. You can communicate with your ancestors. You can communicate with demigods and deities. And this Ormus, these ancient civilizations, these wise men, they used to lust after this Ormus stuff. So that's where the Great White Brotherhood comes. But once again, if I wasn't researching and if Krishna didn't guide me, I wouldn't have found out that the Great White Brotherhood had nothing to do with skin color. It had more to do with the people who knew the science of the white powder, Mufkut, Ormus colloidal gold. Okay, so try to get your hands on Secret Places of the Lion. It has a lot of good stuff in there, like I said, you know. I'm just showing the book so you can see the cover. And there's also another book that concerns me at this time. This one is my book. I like to keep my books close, you know what I'm saying? In case the world is ending, I gotta have my japa beads. Like I always gotta have my prayer beads if the world is ending. That's definite. And I also have to have some books, you know what I mean? There's some other substances I might need, you know, just to get through my days and nights, but that's another story. So, yeah, I got this book right now called Way of the Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva by Shambhala Classics, written by Shantideva. Bodhisattva is significant in my life because, you know, I told you all the story before and I'll reiterate it real quick. Back when I was in the shelter for a little while, about a year and a half, I was having a lot of mystical and spiritual experiences because that was the time for my awakening, or reawakening rather. And one day I was asleep. It was a dreamless sleep, black, all black, pitch black. I didn't dream. Right before I woke up, I think somebody called me on the phone and woke me up out of my... No, that was a different incident. Right before I woke up, I saw a word flash in front of my eyes, Bodhisattva. I had never read about this word Bodhisattva before. I didn't know what a Bodhisattva was, and I started researching about Bodhisattva. And long story short, it led me to some spiritual paths of which I still indulge in today. But significant thing about Bodhisattvas is that they're basically a clique, a crew of people who take reincarnation, life after life after life. They are mercy workers, and they are going to stick around in the universe till every last living entity receives the mercy of Krishna, or goes at least back to nirvana, which is nirvana is Brahma Jyoti. It's not the highest stage of existence, but it means you're basically out of the forest of reincarnation, or at least the mental forest. You do reincarnate from nirvana or the Brahma Jyoti, but it takes a long time, and you got to get real bored before you fall back down into these middle planetary systems, these rock planets, these rocky planets. But Bodhisattva is just so important, and I'm thinking that the Bodhisattvas are calling me now to do some kind of work or some kind of mission, and that's all right with me, you know. I just have to find out what kind of vows I previously made, because I'm having second thoughts about remaining in the material world till everybody's going back home. But the good thing about it is that this is a special Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, but this one is real special because the incarnation for this age, the hidden avatar for this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appeared under an eclipse. Now, an eclipse is inauspicious. It is Rahu swallowing either the sun or the moon. So eclipse is not an auspicious time. However, in a country that's absorbed in spiritual culture, a country such as India, whenever there's an eclipse, they go bathe in holy rivers, they take baths, they start splashing the Ganges water all over their heads and their bodies, and they give back. Just like we receive from nature, we drink from nature. Likewise, we pick up from the water and we give back to nature, because remember, all the knowledge you have, knowledge is based upon either the intellectual body, bodhi, intelligence. It is based upon the mind. Knowledge can even be based upon the ego. And of course, your five senses have their own forms of knowledge as well. So we know that knowledge is temporary. It doesn't come in this world with us, and it can leave at any moment. You drop from a roof, hit your head, you'll have no more knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So all this knowledge doesn't really belong to us. It's temporary material knowledge is what stays with us in the material world just while you're in this body until conditions change that. So as you receive resources from nature, you should also be willing to give resources back to nature. That's reciprocity, and that's how you keep things flowing. Mahaprabhu being born under an eclipse shows, if you look at his astrological chart and his astronomical chart, you can see that because he was born under an eclipse, that there's every possibility that this golden age of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will eclipse the age of Kali we live in. And as such, you know, that's going to change a lot of things. It's not for me to say that Kalki avatar is not going to come, but if we can spiritualize this planet in this era, within the next 9,000, 10,000 years, there will be no need for the avatar of destruction to come to this planet, because the planet will be revitalized and spiritualized. I didn't say made good. I didn't say made better. I didn't say made utopian. Spiritual classification is something more eternal and substantial than things we can describe with temporary, limited terms. So once again, do your research, people. Look up Secret Places of the Lion by George Hunt Williamson, The Way of the Bodhisattva by Shanti Deva. I recently made a comment on Facebook that if I go in somebody's house and I don't see much books, I don't stick around there. Let me clarify, okay? To seek knowledge means that a person wants to come out of darkness. The Vedas tell us, go towards the light. The word guru is a dispeller of darkness. So everywhere you go in life, it's all about moving from darkness to light. Generally, and I'm not judging all people, generally people who don't involve in the active pursuit of knowledge and are studying literature tend to be under the mode of passion or the mode of ignorance. And I don't want those energies to rub off on me. Yes, you can have a Kindle. Yes, you can have a bookshelf in the back of your house that I don't see. And when you are exposed to those types of energy or media, it usually reflects in your behavior. So I don't need to go into your house. I'm catching the mad deja vu right now. I don't need to go into your house to see books, to know that you read books. You get what I'm saying? And you don't have to see a man's all you got to do is look at a person's behavior to know if you really belong with them. So that post was really symbolic. It's just saying, no, I wasn't being an intellectual snob. It's just that birds of a feather flock together. There's a lot of people who's not comfortable around me. I've even heard stories like I would be interested in a lady and stuff, and then I come find out from her years later or from one of her friends, she was intimidated by me. You know what I mean? And likewise, there's people like me who don't mix and match with every crowd. So I'm just saying, I like to bubble around similar bubbles. And I'm sure you can understand. So with that said, I would like to encourage everybody to continue chanting Hare Krishna. This weekend is Mother's Day. Of course, Mother's Day is always going to be significant for me because my mother left her body in 2012. And since then, I've had so many friends that have lost their mothers. So I'd like to just give a moment to give a shout out to all of the mothers, especially the mothers that have been kind to me this past birthday. Like, I've received so much love, adoration, gifts, just kindness. But the love is the real thing, because the love is what I could really taste. And all of those mothers that have done something kind for me, hopefully I could reciprocate this weekend, either financially or somehow intellectually. Somehow I could reciprocate this weekend. If not, just give me a little time. There's always something coming through. Something's always dropping from the upper planetary systems and coming down and just winding up on my lap. So let's see how that works out. But I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. And to all of you who lost your moms, just remember that this mantra is not limited by this phone. This mantra is not limited by the material cosmos. So I ask you, for the benefit of your ancestors and your daily departed, please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. It's a beautiful day in May. Peace.